Hi, welcome to Library Talk. I'm Suzanne Reed, a volunteer with the Summit County Library, and I'm here in Frisco at the main branch library in the children's room to tell you something special, a new resource that we have for children and their families. The resource is Websters Backyard Friends, which is a brand new page on the Summit County Library website. I have a few people here who I'm going to talk to give us some details about the website, but before that, just wanted to remind everybody that this resource was brought to you thanks to the Summit County Library Foundation, which funded the development of this library website. If you would like more information about the Summit County Library Foundation, please go to our library website or just stop in any of the branch libraries and they can give you information. Here to help me tell you about Webster's Backyard Friends, our new children's library webpage, are Yvette Serbu and Tom Fellner of Imagine That Creative in Frisco. And I think they worked for, well, how long did it take you guys to develop this?
Well, the whole site as a whole, probably about 6 months or so.
Really? Okay. And you worked with Jane Van Baren, I think, of the library staff?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess my big question when I first started to look at the website was, well, two questions. One, who is, I mean, it's obviously the audience is children, but what was your vision of who the audience would be for this website?
Well, for the whole website,
yeah.
The whole website, obviously, for everybody who would be participating or be using the website. For the children's website, obviously, that would, we really wanted to gear that towards the children. So.
I also felt, too, though, when I was looking at it, that if you were a parent, because a few of the pages that I looked at, well, particularly the homework help section, I thought if I was a parent and I was helping a child, for instance, the page I was looking at was on presidents. If I was helping them do a paper or a project on the presidents, there were so many resources there that were that your web page, Webster's Backyard Friends Homework Help, linked you directly to those resources. I was super impressed with that.
Well, thank you. That was an important part of the process. Really, we wanted the website to not only be very friendly and energetic for the children, but to be a great resource for the parents and the children to go to as well, together. And so that was a really important part of developing the pages and deciding what resources would be part of that particular portion of this website. So.
Well, I can tell you worked hard on that because that was something, I'm a former school librarian, so I was really looking at what the resources would be, that they would be authentic, they would be information that you'd really want your children to have access to. And everything I saw was very high quality, I thought.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so kudos to you guys.
Thanks.
So my other question was, what was your overall goal for Webster's Backyard Friends, would you say? I mean, I think you touched on it a little bit, Yvette.
Yeah. Well, really, Jane came to us with a vision, and she had pictured a great, just really fun website, very colorful. And Webster had been their mascot for some years.
Okay.
And so what we did was helped Jane bring that to life. So the goal was to not only have it be fun and exciting, but to have that information in a way that the children were going to receive that. But that also the parents would take well too.
Yes.
So linking the two of those and really connecting with those children so that the Summit County kids could really enjoy seeing animals maybe they would see in their own backyards and using Webster as an avenue to introducing those other characters.
Yeah, and I think we really wanted to have the children to feel like this is a place for them to go, that it's there, they have some ownership
Right.
in the webpage. So.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the fact that what I discovered in looking at the web pages was that each of the characters seems to have their own little personality. And I wasn't really expecting that. I kind of got into that whole part of it. And when anybody takes a look at it with their kids, you're going to see that right away. In addition to all the links to the resources, the characters are so much fun. So I think that really comes through.
Yes, and with that, I mean, we really had sat down together, researched different websites that we thought had really good resources. Some were more playful, some were more serious. So we were intermingling the two. And with the natural mascot that, Webster is, it just kind of started coming alive. We started talking and getting excited ourselves. And then those personalities could relate to the different pages and the information on those pages. And so it was really fun to start that process.
And yeah, the other page that I looked at was one called Fun and Games, and there were so many links, everything from like preschool kids all the way up to, you know, the older elementary school age children. There were activities that you could do, whether it was art or geometry or whatever. I mean, half an hour went by, and I was still fooling around with all that stuff. So
that's great.
I know.
That's great.
Do you have a particularly favorite part that you enjoyed working on, Tom?
I think just the whole creative process was really enjoyable, really fun. Coming up with the whole idea of Webster's Backyard Friends, which was really Yvette's brainchild. But it was just a lot of fun coming up with the different characters and the names for them. I know we spent a pretty significant amount of time developing the names, making sure the names matched with the characters, making sure the fonts that we used for that character matched.
Right.
It was just a lot of fun, which is just something that is a little unusual as web developers to be able to do a project that's
yeah,
as
that
fun
you
as
don't
it
get
was.
to do that every day.
No,
yeah.
no, absolutely not. So it was a really enjoyable process and a lot of fun.
I agree.
So.
Well, it's fun to hear about that because when you look at it, you know, I mean, it does seem friendly. It does seem very user-friendly, very happy place. And to hear how you made that happen is interesting to me because, you know, there's a lot more involved than I know about.
Right.
So now when I take a look at it, I'll know a little bit more about who worked on it and what the process was.
Yeah.
Right.
Are there any more parts of the web page of Webster's Backyard Friends that still are to be developed, that are not quite where you want them to be?
I think there's a few functionality things that we'd like to be able to do. We want to add more to the photo gallery and make sure that's working as like we want it to be. But and just refine the characters and add more character or more character to the characters. And make them come more alive for the kids.
Right, and we've talked how it would be really fun during different holidays and different seasons for those characters to have a little different item to say about their personality and what they like, and so incorporating those elements into it, just kind of refining who these characters are and letting these children identify with what character they like and what pages they like. You know, we purposely made the color coding, which was fun to color code so they could not only visually see with the characters, but that the colors related on the page in all ways that children learn, hitting on all those facets. So I think, you know, those are areas that can always still continue to be developed.
Well, and I think kids are so sophisticated now with all of that I think they're definitely going to enjoy our web pages, and as well as the parents. And the other thing I'll mention too that I noticed that'll be useful for parents is there is a schedule. What is it called? Where they have all the, you know, what events are coming up. I guess it's
the schedule of events.
Yes. So if you want to know when story hours are or special programs, that is also one of the pages on Webster's Backyard Friends. So I guess I'd just like to. Well, is there anything that we didn't touch on that you'd like to emphasize as far as the Webster's Backyard Friends?
I would just say, you know, for Imagine That Creative, the process is always very important of how to develop a website. And I think what was really neat was how we were all being able to be very cognizant of the time frame, yet make our normal process of building a website from the research and you know, looking at other library websites to see for resources, down to the characters, down to including the information in the website. But it really made the process come alive, and it was really fun to go through because we do this process regularly in the development, but this kind of brought a new light to it.
Well, and your enthusiasm definitely shows through, and listening to you talk reminds me of something that Jane said when I asked her about the goal of this website, and she said it's to be the best children's web page for any library. And I definitely think you've accomplished that. So if you haven't taken a look, the address of the library website is on the screen. Go to Webster's Backyard Friends. Make sure you have a child with you and have some fun. Thanks a lot, and see you at the library.